Good evening and welcome to Channel 7 News at 7 o'clock. 7 at 7. My name is Josh Byer and this is Travis Leitzinger. Tonight's top story is Mount Horeb FFA's holiday fruit sale. Travis?
The FFA raised a staggering $47,000 this year, which is the most our Mount Horeb FFA has ever raised. Buyers had many options of fruit this year, including apples, both Red Delicious and Granny Smith, oranges, pineapples, and grapefruits. But not only were people able to purchase fruit, but they were also able to purchase cookie dough, nuts, honey, cheese, and sausage. If you're looking for a little bit of everything, the FFA packages their own gift boxes that you may purchase that have just a hint of everything in them. The profits from the sales go towards many FFA activities and events, including the FFA National Convention held in Kentucky, the annual Canada fishing trip taken in early July, with participants of the fruit sale who wish to go and who also raised $800 in sales or more. Participants of the fruit sale who sold over $800 were also able to use some of their profits for a new FFA jacket that members need for the National Convention and the end of the year banquet.
Now that's really interesting, Travis. Say someone is interested and wanted to participate in the sale. What would they do?
Well, people who are interested in getting involved in this year's upcoming holiday sales can find a local FFA member who will help them with their order around holiday sales time. And if you're a student of Mount Horeb High School and you're interested in joining FFA and participating in the holiday sales, you can talk to Miss Allen, who you can find in the Ag hallway in the high school. More information on the Mount Horeb FFA can be found on the district page at MHASD. On to our next story. The Wisconsin Powerball jackpot is way up.
Yeah, that's right. The Powerball jackpot in Wisconsin is up to $566 million in cash and $900 million annuity as of January 10th, 2016.
What's annuity, Josh?
Annuity is you get paid every 3 months or 6 months or so for a long period of time, so you don't get paid all at once. Because if you got almost $1 billion all at once, that'd be pretty crazy.
Gotcha.
Now, the jackpot is estimated to grow a great amount in the next 3 days, reaching $806 million in cash and $1.3 billion annuity on January 13th, 2016, said Wisconsin lottery officials. Could you imagine what you do with that money? I have no idea what I would do. Well, 9 lucky winners didn't quite hit the jackpot, but all 9 participants did win $50K in Saturday night's drawing, said Wisconsin lottery officials. The last time someone won the Wisconsin Powerball jackpot was in October of 2009. That man won $31.4 million. That's less than 1/5 of the jackpot right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, on to our next story. We'll go out to our field reporter, Zach, with a report on last night's storm.
Last night, there was a snowstorm that had up to 70-mile-per-hour winds blowing south with about 7 feet of snow predicted to land and then freeze due to the wind. Well, in Minocqua, they got just that. Snow was blowing so hard that it just stuck to the residents' homes. And due to the 70-mile-per-hour winds, it blew the roofs right off their homes. And many trees were snapped and cracked. Also, power lines are broke due to these nasty winds. Many people did survive this storm, but the hardest part for most of the people is that they couldn't even get out of their own homes because all that snow blowing caused the snow to cake to the sides of the house. The people that were able to get out of their homes said it felt like they were in a nice, warm igloo but couldn't get out. So right now, people are using anything they can to get out of their homes to save their families from dehydration and hunger. So if you could, they will be needing your help from all over to help them get out of this very strange natural disaster. But first, people south of Minocqua should get food and get some warmth and go to the spot in the house to get shelter, because it's coming for you next.
Wow, that's some crazy weather out there, isn't it, Travis?
Yeah, I mean, I hope everyone's all right and, can just get back to day-to-day life. And
Me too. I really hope they do. Now we go to Mason Nothi, who's going to talk about the Mount Horeb High School school lunches.
Now to talk about the school lunches at Mount Horeb High School. This week's lunch schedule is mozzarella sticks with marinara, on Monday. Tuesdays is marinara and chicken Alfredo with pasta. Wednesdays is orange chicken or fruit and yogurt parfait. Thursdays is hamburger or cheeseburger or a chili dog. Fridays is chicken patty on a whole grain bun or baked potato with ham and cheese. This month's fruit and vegetable of the month is strawberries and carrots. Half a cup of strawberries is an excellent source of vitamin C, providing 81% of the recommended daily value. The thing that I like about the school lunches is that it sometimes provides a good portion of food. Half a cup of carrot is a good source of vitamin A. For more information, please contact Michelle Denk for Food Services Director at 608-437-2400, extension 1222. For lunch account information, please contact Lori Martin at 608-437-2400, extension 2119.
Sounds like a great week of lunches for the students at Mount Horeb High School.
I agree. It sounds very good. I'm a student at Mount Horeb High School, and I personally like to bring cold lunch every single week.
I also bring cold lunch, and I just like to know where my food comes from, and I like to eat some more veggies and fruits during lunch. Now to our field reporter Zach on his story on this year's crop results.
Farmers couldn't have asked for any better of a year to get the crops up, because we started the year with some nice rain, but still was able to get the crops in early. Hay was down in price due to the rain we had got during the growing season, which gave farmers a good yield. So no one needed hay, that's why the prices went down. Also, most farmers took off a fourth crop due to this beautiful summer we had. Corn silage was also down in price because of our gentle rainfalls we had, which we also got a good yield. And finally, farmers couldn't have asked for any better of a fall either, to get the soybeans and corn off because of Wisconsin's wacky winters and summers. Corn was down, but farmers didn't care, because they had plenty of bushels per acre, which was also due to the rain. Wheat was the only thing farmers had trouble getting off because it wasn't as hot as most summers. So the wheat took forever to ripen, and as soon as it did, it rained. So no one could get it off, which made it hard to bale straw because it was damp. So straw bales were up in price. The end of our crop results of 2015. See you next year, farmers.
Thank you, Zach, for that field report. Now over to Josh in Studio B with a report on this year's upcoming Mount Horeb baseball.
Last year, the Mount Horeb Vikings varsity baseball team did pretty well. They finished the season with a record a little under 500. Their lineup was not stacked with seniors, but there was a few key players that were lost for this next year. The Osterloo brothers were a few key leaders, and Tyler Vogel was a great player. Now that they have graduated, this year's juniors and seniors will have to step up. Senior catcher David Dressler and junior pitcher Hoppy Hopwood will be a couple of leaders. Some winter practices have started, but the official season starts in early spring. There are high hopes for this upcoming season. Jake and Dave Dressler both are expected to play well as a pitching and catching duo. Bama Doyle is an outfielder who also has a major role in the team's success. All in all, many of the players have the ability to make the team great this next season. Now, back to Travis in studio.
Another top story tonight is on the Green Bay Packers and their road to the playoffs, and some of the hardships they had to overcome to get to where they are now. The Green Bay Packers faced a devastating loss early in the preseason, losing star wide receiver Jordy Nelson to a torn ACL, putting him out for the rest of the season. But the Packers did not let that slow them down. They had a phenomenal start to the regular season, winning their first 6 games, defeating the Chicago Bears, Seattle Seahawks, Kansas City Chiefs, San Francisco 49ers, St. Louis Rams, and the San Diego Chargers, defeating all of their opponents but the Chargers by at least 2 scores. Then came their bye week, with their upcoming game against the also 6-0 Denver Broncos. Peyton Manning was known for playing his best after a bye week because it gave him that much more time to pick apart the Green Bay's defensive flaws. That stood true when Peyton Manning completed 21 of 29 passing attempts for 340 yards against the Green Bay defense, leaving the run game wide open for the Broncos, with C.J. Anderson and Ronnie Hillman combining for over 160 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. "We didn't break the rhythm," stated head coach Mike McCarthy, and he was right, as the Broncos went on to give the Packers their first of 6 losses on the year, defeating them 29-10. The Packers encountered a mid-season slump, losing their next 2 games to the Carolina Panthers and the Detroit Lions. The Packers went on to win 4 of their next 7 games, barely clinching a playoff spot after their first NFC Championship loss to the Vikings in over 6 years. The Packers entered the playoffs at 10-6, at the wild card spot scheduled to play in Washington against the Washington Redskins. The Packers started off rocky, giving up an early field goal and safety. In the start of the second quarter, the Redskins then scored a touchdown with a pass from Kirk Cousins to Jordan Reed, putting them up 11-0 halfway through the second quarter. The Packers really turned their luck around after scoring 17 unanswered points in the remaining minutes in the second quarter, giving the Packers a 17-11 lead going into half. After half, the lead changed 2 times, and then the Packers started to dominate, leading them to a 35-18 victory over the Washington Redskins, and sending the Packers to the divisional round against the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona on Saturday, January 16th. The game will air at 7:30 p.m. on NBC. Now over to our field reporter Carter on everything you need to stay safe this winter.
It's time to talk about the dangers of winter driving and how to keep your vehicle operable in the winter. The cold weather can cause elements of the engine to freeze. To protect your engine, you should use antifreeze, which prevents the coolant from freezing. The coolant system should already have antifreeze in it, but should be checked often. Another useful tip is to keep jumper cables and a scraper in your vehicle at all times. You never know when you might need a jump start or need to scrape your windows. Having the right tires is important for winter driving as well. Winter tires are superior to all-season tires and should be used. They have special tread compounds that can use soft stud tread fibers and can help retain their flexibility, which means more traction. And they use silica-based compounds that bite through water film to increase traction on ice and snow. All-season tires are aimed at a wide variety of conditions, and their quality of traction decreases when it is below 45 degrees Fahrenheit. This means they are not useful for a state like Wisconsin in the winter. Take this opportunity to prepare yourself for the winter and its dangers. The vehicle itself is not fully responsible for what happens when you drive, though. The driver themselves need to take note of the condition of the roads and make adjustments to their driving. Here is some advice for when you are driving on snowy or icy roads. First of all, do not use cruise control on slippery roads. It's up to you to make sure the tires are inflated properly and that you have at least a half tank full of gas. This will avoid a gas line freeze-up. You should also avoid using your parking brake. Make sure you accelerate and decelerate slowly so you avoid skidding. Also, drive slowly. Most people know they should, but do not do it anyways. It is very important to know your brakes and how to threshold brake, meaning to keep the heel of your foot on the floor and use the ball of your foot to apply firm, steady pressure on the brake pedal. Other tips include don't power up hills, don't stop if you can avoid it, and don't stop when going up a hill. Most importantly, if you don't have to go out, just stay home. Hopefully this will help you in the future and keep you safe.
Thank you, Carter, for those tips on how to keep myself and my car safe this winter.
Now we go to Zach, who's expressing his opinions on why our school needs new equipment.
The students that use the tools in the FFA Ag Room have had many complaints about the tools, so we have decided to bring in new FFA equipment that gives them a better grinder that has a guard to protect the students from touching the running blade. Also, they have more stick welders than wire feed, so they should get a couple more wire feed welders, so more people can weld at the same time and not waste class time by waiting for welders. Next, their saw blades are bent, so they should buy new saw blades so the blades aren't bent, so the saw doesn't get stuck in the wood and make poor cuts. This is why the egg room should have more wire feed welders, guards on their grinders, and new saws that blades aren't bent, so students aren't getting hurt and aren't afraid to use the tools.
Those are some strong opinions from Zach. I was convinced.
I was as well.
Now we go to Mason Nothi, who is talking about the holiday sales from this year.
This year for Walmart is going to be great. According to National Retail Federation, total sales are expected to reach $630 billion in the current year. Industry sales are estimated to rise 3.7% in November through December. Thanksgiving had contributed 10 to 15% to the holiday retail sales last year. In 2015, the owners of Walmart made $33 billion. The sales right now at Walmart are fantastic. Save up to 20% off on a jacket. Now get into Walmart and save up to 30% on men's clothing. Get into Walmart and save money.
That was a great report by Mason on this year's holiday sales. I know I contributed to that.
I know I did as well. We're going to take a short commercial break, and after we come back, we're going to go to Josh Beyer on his report on Tyrol with their recent success.
Ladies, this is what your man feels like without wearing Old Spice. He feels as if he's holding a man in a tub. Now look at your hand and back to me. Your hand is empty, and mine has the power to make him feel like he's on a beach with you. Make him happy. Get him some swagger.
And we're back. Now to Josh Beyer on his story about Tyrol Basin's recent success.
At this time of year, many people like to go skiing or snowboarding at their local skiing hill. For people in the Mount Horeb area, that place is Tyrol Basin. Tyrol Basin is located about 10 minutes outside of the town of Mount Horeb. Many people in the area say they would definitely recommend Tyrol Basin to other skiers and snowboarders. Some even say that it is one of the best skiing hills in southern Wisconsin. Lately, some natural snow has boosted their business, but earlier in the season, they had to try and make their own snow because temperatures were high for the time of year it was and there was no natural snow. Early on, they didn't make much money, but now that the temperatures have dropped and there has been snowfall, they've been able to get back to business. So, this year, it looks like it will be a successful season for Tyrol Basin.
Thank you, Josh, for that story.
Thank you. Now we go to Mason on his report on the Mount Horeb boys basketball team this winter.
Today I'm here in the Mount Horeb High School, standing in front of the gym where the boys basketball is practicing right now. Their record is 6-6. It isn't looking good for them right now. Even though they won the championship last year, they lost a big three-point threat, Drew Fredrickson. They lost a lot of seniors, but they got to keep someone else for another year, Max Myler. He started next to Drew Fredrickson last year as a junior. Even though we aren't doing as well as last year, the fans still come and cheer them on.
Thank you, Mason, for that report on the Mount Horeb boys basketball team.
Now over to Carter on his report from the Cole Center.
I am here at the National Ping Pong Tournament in Madison, Wisconsin at the Cole Center. The competition is holding 100 players in 2 different brackets. The final game is happening right now. It is between Zachary Judd and Mason Nothi. For those of you who don't know, ping pong is played to 11 and you need to win by 2, and you have to win 3 out of the 5 matches. The first match led to a devastating loss for Zach as he lost 3-11. Game 2 was a comeback from Zach as he won 11-8. As they went into Game 3, they had an incident and needed to replace the ball after a hard hit from Mason, which cracked the ball. The excitement and motivation led him to win 11-6. Zach was now losing the series 1-2 to Mason. Zach played for his life the 4th game and won a close game 12-10. With the series tied up at 2-2, both competitors were playing for a national title. Game 5 was a nail-biter as the score went all the way up to 21, battling back and forth. Zach ended up winning 21-19 after Mason fell to the pressure and missed the table on his final serve. After the game, the two shook hands, and Zach was awarded his trophy and his national title as ping pong champion.
That was a great report coming from Carter at the Cole Center about the ping pong tournament.
Now, right back at you, Carter, with an interview of Matt Slindy of the Mount Horeb wrestling team.
I'm here with Matthew Slindy of the Mount Horeb wrestling team. Tell me, Matt, what weight class are you in?
I'm at the 138 weight class currently.
Nice. I see. And do you know your personal record?
Yes, I am 3-5 right now.
Not bad. Now, would you like to give a recap of Bi-State?
Sure, it was a lot of fun. Had some really good wrestlers. Matt Bloom took second. Brad Jones and Dalton Frakes took ninth, I believe. And yeah, it was a whole lot of fun. Hard work, you know.
Sounds like a nice time.
It was.
What is the team's overall record?
I believe our team's overall record is 3-2 at the moment.
Nice. How did you guys do at the Mount Horeb Invitational?
We took first place at the Mount Horeb Invitational.
Any tough teams in that?
Yeah. River Valley was there. They're pretty good. They're hard. But, you know, not as good as us.
Yeah. What are some upcoming meets or tournaments for the Vikings?
Well, this Saturday, JV travels to Middleton, and varsity will travel to Sauk Prairie. And we'll just have a couple more dual meets, and then eventually we'll get to conference, and that's when the season really starts picking up.
And for my final question, what are some of your favorite moves that you like to do?
I enjoy the blast double.
Blast double.
The blast double.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Talk to you, Matt.
Yep.
Thank you, Matthew Slindy, for doing that interview with us. We really appreciate it. And good luck to the Mount Horeb wrestling team.
And now we're going to take a short commercial break, and when you come back, we'll have the conclusion to tonight's show.
This is your cat before Slim Kitty cat food. As you can see, it's overweight and has 6 toes and doesn't like to sit anywhere. This is your cat after Slim Kitty cat food. Try it, get your free trial at 1-800-SLIM-KITTY.
Thank you to all our viewers out there for tuning in to our show tonight. Join us next time on Channel 7 News at 7 o'clock.
7 at 7.
Wendy Peppermint. Yeah. Is a dime.
Josh, stay away. Josh. Ow.